Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever been stuck in that meeting? You know the one. The one about the same frustrating problem week after week, and you just never seem to get anywhere. Well, today we are going to cut right through that noise. We're breaking down a really powerful two-step method to turn all that chaos into clarity so you can actually start solving things. Okay, let's get into it.
So here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to start with a familiar, super messy problem. Then we'll walk through the two core steps to fix it. First, defining it, and then measuring the reality of it. Then we're going to see a real aha moment when the data starts talking. And finally, we'll wrap up with why this simple foundation is an absolute game changer. All right, let's kick things off by setting a scene that probably feels a little too real for a lot of us. We're talking about that one workplace problem that just refuses to go away.
No, seriously? Just think about it for a second. Why is it that certain issues at work just feel permanent? They're like these ghosts in the machine that everybody complains about, but nobody can ever seem to actually get rid of.
You know what I'm talking about. It could be those painfully long customer wait times. Or maybe it's the exact same billing error popping up again and again and again. It could even be some internal process that's so confusing, nobody really knows how it's supposed to work. The result is always the same, right? Endless meetings that go absolutely nowhere, wasting time, money, and everyone's morale. So what's the deal? Why does this keep happening? Well, the single biggest mistake, the one we see time and time again, is that teams jump straight to solutions before they even understand what the real problem is. They end up treating the symptoms, not the actual disease, and then they wonder why they end up right back where they started.
Okay, so how do we break this frustrating cycle? We start by bringing some order to all that chaos. Let's move on to the first and maybe most important step and see how we can build a solid foundation for finding a real solution.
I love this analogy because it is just so spot on. You would never want a doctor to just guess what's wrong with you, right? Of course not. You'd want them to run some tests, figure out what's really going on, make a diagnosis. Well, it's the exact same idea in business. We need that diagnosis before we even think about prescribing a solution.
And that diagnosis really comes in two parts. They happen to be the first two phases of this really powerful problem-solving method called DMAIC. We're not going to get lost in the weeds with all that, but it all starts right here. First, you define the problem with absolute crystal clear precision. And then you measure the current reality. Define and measure. That's it. That's our whole focus today.
So what do we actually mean by define? Well, it means getting everybody on the same page with a razor-sharp problem statement. You have to stop using these vague, fuzzy terms and start asking some really pointed questions. What specifically is the problem? Who exactly is being affected by this? And what is the real, tangible impact this is having on the business?
Let's use a quick case study to make this real. We'll call the company FinCorp. Now, their team got together in a room and decided our problem is bad customer service. Sound familiar? It's such a classic example. It feels true, but it's totally unhelpful because it's vague. It gives you absolutely nowhere to start. Okay, so FinCorp's problem statement, bad customer service, is way too fuzzy. To get any clarity, they have to move on to step 2. They need to stop guessing and start measuring what's actually going on.
You see, the measure phase is where you trade in all those I think and I feel statements for cold, hard facts. It's all about collecting data to build a baseline, an objective snapshot of what the problem looks like right now. This is where opinions and anecdotes have to take a back seat to the evidence.
And that's exactly what the team at FinCorp did. They put all their assumptions and gut feelings on the shelf, and they just started digging into the data on their customer support process. They needed to turn that vague feeling of bad service into something concrete that they could actually get their hands on.
And here's the first bit of data they uncovered. The average call took 45 minutes to resolve. Yikes, customers were getting transferred an average of 4 times per call, and their customer satisfaction score was only 55%. So yeah, the data definitely confirms the what? Things are bad, but it still doesn't tell them the most important part. Why?
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. Because as FinCorp kept digging deeper, trying to figure out that why, the data showed them something that completely shocked the entire team. So the leadership team's gut feeling, their working theory, was that their support agents just weren't trained well enough. In fact, they were already planning this massive, very expensive retraining program to fix it. That was their assumed solution, based on an assumption.
But the data told a completely different story. And this chart right here just perfectly shows the power of measuring. When they actually broke down that 45-minute average call, they found something incredible. The agent was only talking to the customer for about 10% of that time. The customer was waiting in a queue for about 5%. A staggering 85% of the customer's time was spent on hold, just waiting for slow internal systems to grant an approval.
Let's just let that number sink in for a second. 85%. The agents weren't the problem at all. They were actually being pretty darn efficient. The customers were spending almost all of their time just sitting in limbo, completely trapped by a bottleneck in the internal process.
And that, right there, is the whole point. The data completely reframed their entire problem. Without measuring, they would have wasted a fortune on training that wouldn't have solved a thing. With the data, they pinpointed the real root cause. It was a broken process, not underperforming people.
And that really brings us to the big takeaway here. Because the FinCorp story, it isn't just about customer service. It's about a fundamental shift in how we should all be approaching problems.
Just look at the difference. When you're just guessing, you waste resources, you're just chasing symptoms, and honestly, you just create a ton of frustration for your team. But when you define and you measure, you get focused effort, you solve the actual root causes, and you bring this incredible sense of clarity and purpose to your team.
So here's what I really want you to take away from this. A well-defined problem is truly halfway solved. You have to let data replace opinions in your discussions. And the most important thing you can possibly do is resist that powerful urge to jump straight to a solution. Stop, define, and measure first. I promise you, this simple discipline will save you an unbelievable amount of time, money, and team sanity. So I'll leave you with a question to chew on. What is that one nagging, recurring problem in your world that everyone's always complaining about? Maybe it's time to stop talking about it and start defining it. Thanks for watching.